What's up, guys? I want to thank you guys for coming to today's video training. And this is how to buy pretty houses even if you don't have cash or money or credit or needing to go to the bank and beg your bankers for give you a loan. Like, that's ridiculous. So I wanted to make sure that I did this training. I want to also thank you guys for showing up, because I believe this is one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. It's allowed me to live the life that I want, spend time with my wife, spend time with my kids, all starting from practically nothing, which I'll go through that. And I know you could be doing other things with your time today too. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So no bullshit. So anyways, if you guys have ever heard me speak before, I am the founder of the Real Estate Renegade Academy. And whenever I do any talks whatsoever, I got 3 rules. How many rules? 3 rules. First rule, you don't have to believe everything that I say. And the reason why I share that with you is because I can only come from my experience. And my experience, I've done a lot of deals. I've done a lot of stuff from houses, apartment buildings, and all that stuff. But in the end, it doesn't matter what I've done in my life. What matters is what you do in your life. And I want to help you be able to do that. So you don't have to believe everything I say. I just ask that you do one thing: be open. What is it? Exactly, be open. And if you can be open and you try these out in your life and see if they work, and if they do, keep using them. If they don't, chuck them. You don't have to worry about it. Cool? So the other thing is that I've helped a lot of people do this. I've helped a lot of people be successful, and they bought a lot of deals in real estate. They've built their own legacy. They're building the current legacy right now. Even some of the people just wanted to get deals so they became financially free and begin to make money and begin to live the life that they want by design, instead of living like a slave of their life. I don't want that for you. So if it worked for us, I can tell you it's going to work for you, because what I do, I teach, and it does work. And if not, I don't fucking teach it. Oh, I said I was not going to cuss. Oh, I did it anyways. But anyways, I cussed. Get over it. So that's the first rule. Rule number 2, how many of you guys would actually get more out of this training? All right. How many of you guys would actually like to remember more out of what you learned out of this training? How many of you guys actually want to apply what you learned in the real world? Good. So research says the key to being able to learn more, remember more, do more is participation. Is what? Patient. Got it. So for you guys that are repeating what I'm saying, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And that's what participation is: involvement. Because real estate, business, life, playing around, anything you do is going to involve you getting involved in it and participating. All right. So sometimes I'm going to ask questions. Cool. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to repeat what I say, or sometimes I'm going to drop the last word of my sentence off expecting you to finish it. Even though you're listening, it's ridiculous as it sounds. You can be rich or you can be ridiculous. I'd rather be rich by doing ridiculous shit, and that's what I'm going to be doing with you guys, okay? So it's not what I say, because what I say means one thing. What you say and what you do means everything. So I want to invite you to play this game this way. Cool? So, and the last rule, the third rule, is when I went blind in both eyes, and I was laying in bed and getting eye surgery at the time, I was running an academy. I was running a strength conditioning stuff for people at the time, right? Because we ran a warhorse program, strength and conditioning for athletes. And when I was face down in the bed, yeah, this freaking plane's going over. Awesome, right? Get over it. Get over it, meaning me, get over it, because I want to make sure I get this to you. It's super important. It's really going to help change your life. Laying face down in the bed, I could hear these guys on the other side, and they were cheering this battle. We call it our warhorse battle cry, but in our real estate academy, we call it our renegade battle cry. So when I say renegade, you're going to say who? Because that's what they were doing. They were calling out to me, letting me know that they were out there training, motivated to help me become motivated again, so I can get out of the bed and start getting back to my normal life. So supporting each other, they were fighting for me, and it caused me to actually have the strength in me to continue to fight, so I can go back out and fight for them. So boom, that's our third rule. So sometimes I'm going to bring you back up to speed. Like we said, the key to this is what? Patient. Got it. If the key to participation is getting involved, then I want you to get involved in this stuff. So when I say renegade, you're going to say who? Why? Because renegades go against the grain. Renegades go against the norm. We are looking to build a legacy, and you can't build a legacy with weak ass energy. And how you do anything is how you do everything, is what we say in our academy. So when you play the game here, play the game big, and you will get deals, you will make money, you will build a legacy. If you play the game weak in here, you'll play the game weak out there in the real world. It's just the truth, man. It's a universal principle. All right, so that's what's up. That said, is it cool if I share a little bit of myself with you guys? My quick claim to fame was, shit, I started about 20 years ago, 20 years, and I had a felony charge, and I was on probation, and I had to work a job, because when you're on probation, you got to get a damn job. And I got off from work one day because I worked nights, and I was looking up at the ceiling. I was laying on my bed and I was like, shit, man, there's got to be more to my life than this. And I got up and I got in my truck and I drove to work, and I stopped at the bookstore right down the street from there, and I read a book, and I was sitting on the floor. I don't have a book to show you. I was sitting on the floor and I was reading this book, and I was turning pages, and I was like, shit, I can do this. Reality of it is I knew how to sell drugs, and I knew how to hustle, and I was a fucking badass salesman. So I knew that if I can pick up a house, I could turn around and sell it, and I can make money for me, right? Because this book was so simple. So within the process of reading this book, I got back to my job, and I went to work, and I got the newspaper, and I started calling numbers in this newspaper using the script that I learned from this book. And eventually I got a deal. Now, 20 years into that, I've done over $50 million in real estate transactions myself personally. And I've been hustling and grinding, and no shit, I've been against the wall. I've been against the ringer. I've went through a lot of stuff, but I've made it. Now, my claim to fame helping you guys was a few years I sold my last apartment complex, and it put me in this mental spiral to say, shit, how can I help people? How can I help solve people's problems? What were my problems? I wanted to be financially free. I wanted to be a real estate renegade. I wanted to go against the grain. I didn't have what everybody else had. I had to figure out a way to make a lot of money fast, doing the thing that I really love to do, so I can spend that time with my wife, my kids, be the person that I believe myself to be, which was fucking great. And I believe that you can do that too, which leads us to today's training. So what's in this for you? You're going to learn the top 3 key principles to succeeding and really playing this game as a real estate investor and being a renegade in this game. I'm not talking about conventional stuff. Conventional shit in my mind doesn't work. The renegade's way of doing stuff is about going against the norm, going against the status quo, and building a legacy the way that we want to play the game. And that's what I want you to become in this thing. So what's in it for you? You're going to learn the top 3 principles of exactly what it takes to do this stuff, so you can begin to make money now and start to succeed. So I can put that really on the books. I want to help you succeed. I want you to be a success story. I want you to turn around and buy deals, get deals, make a ton of money, and build a legacy for you and your family and your life. So without further ado, man, we're going to get started on those principles right away and start getting some legs under the excitement that I have. And I know you're going to really love what this is going to do. I want to kind of set the frame for what this training is going to, the definition of a renegade that we like to use in our academy as a real estate renegade is somebody who builds a legacy, somebody who goes against the norm, goes against the status quo, and builds their own legacy, builds their own way. Because let's face it, man, no one working a job got rich. So even due to work a 9-to-5 business per se, where you're the butcher, baker, candlestick maker in your business, and you want to become a real estate investor, you ain't gonna have time. Like, we have a thing, it's like, fuck 9 to 5. Like, if you ain't willing to go against the grain, go against the status quo and set up something for you so you can build your life the way you want to and leave a legacy, it ain't gonna happen, all right? So the definition we use in our academy of being a real estate renegade is we go against the conventional wisdom of thinking, going about how we do our deals, all right? So that said, is it cool if I just give you like the 20% of the thing that's going to give you 80% of your results today as it relates to today's training? These are basic principles that I use over and over again. Every successful real estate investor that I know personally and ones that I've learned from, we live by this. This is almost like a code. All right. So I want to share that with you. These are my power principles. So principle number 1 is being a real estate renegade. And you're going to use this in your career for the rest of your life. And if you put this into play right now, it'll really change your game for you. You can go off and use this today. Number 1 principle, number 1 is your mindset. And you're like, yeah, I know that already. But like I said, welcome to the resistance. And when your mind tells you you know something already, then you need to really listen up, because it's less about what you know. It's more about what you do all the time. And most of the time, especially for successful people, and I bet that you're successful in your own right, whatever you do, it's usually the thing you think you need the least that we need the most. So when your mind says, I know that already, tell yourself, pay attention and listen up. All right. So your mindset is the number 1 key element. So here's the deal. Most real estate investors' mindset is what? Go to the bank, beg for money, have a realtor send me a deal, hack the numbers down 50%, and then, oh shit, wait, and hope that somebody applies and hope that somebody accepts my offer. And what's the R? Man, those things work for the conventional guy. But if you're going to be a renegade in this business, you're going to have to play your game very differently. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to think differently about what you do and what you provide for the world. Here's how I want you to think. This is how I think. My mindset tells me that I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to get this shit done. I'm here to build a legacy. My way to go about building a legacy right off the bat is that I have a, how do I put it without being a dick? I have a personal mission to get as many properties as I can and to help as many people as I can to fix their problems, right? Which we go into. But this is my mindset. That if you get on the phone with me, I will not let you off the phone without making some form of decision where you don't understand what's going to happen and I understand that we're going to either move forward or we're not. I owe you that. It is my personal duty. I have a moral obligation to sell you on what I'm doing. Because grand scheme of things, as a mindset, we're salespeople, period. We're closers. This is the shit that we do in life. As a real estate investor, we're in the reverse of most businesses. So we aren't buyers, we're sellers. Or I'm sorry, we are buyers, we're not sellers. But we sell the fact that we're the best buyers for them. And if you don't have that mindset, you'll lose, right? This isn't a conventional wisdom game. This is the game of a renegade that's willing to get in there. And we have one goal, that's to succeed. And we succeed by helping other people succeed. So that's the mindset we got to take into this thing. So your number one thing I want you to walk away with as being a renegade, and I want you to apply this. It is your moral obligation, your purpose, your personal purpose, your duty, your true responsibility. If you're going to be a real estate investor, to do deals and get deals. That's your job, period. And you must make money in this business or you will quit it. All right? So that's number one, right? Can't build a legacy off of being broke because that would be your fucking legacy, broke. So next thing you're going to be doing is the other principle that I believe is key element, and most people get this shit wrong, is you got to get leads, right? You got to position yourself to be a hardcore marketer. If you don't understand that without leads, you don't make money. Without getting a way to have the seller call you, you don't make money. You can have realtors saying there's a distinction between deals and leads. I look at leads as prospects. These are good leads, qualified leads. The seller's calling me, or I got a person with a challenge that's calling me, and that's what I want you to have. So just because someone sends you a deal doesn't mean it's a deal for you. You have to decide that the distinction between tons of deals, which are all over the place, versus a prospect or a lead contacting you, being able to get leads, is a very huge distinction. And that distinction will make you rich or will keep you working a 9 to 5. And like we said, fuck 9 to 5. So the first principle is your mindset about what you do and why you do what you do. You're here because your job is to get deals. Your job is, you're morally obligated to be a buyer, to get deals, right? The second principle I want you to really get, like I didn't get this, and I'm sharing this with you. This is so important, is you need to be about getting leads. It's a second principle. Get leads contacting you. Only talk to sellers. Talk to sellers who are motivated sellers. That word is a crazy ass word, has been beat to a pulp. Motivated just means that they have a problem and they need that problem solved, and by solving that problem, the house is somehow associated to it, or the apartment building is associated with it. Okay, that's what I want you to bear in mind. Cool. So the third principle is solve a problem for people. So our business as renegades, as renegade real estate investors, is there's properties and then there's problems, right? And in my mind, if I can solve a problem for my seller, because I got the mindset of I'm morally obligated to help this dude, I'm in the game, I got to play, I'm getting deals, but getting deals by solving problems, right? So I got leads coming to me, their sellers calling me, emailing me, shooting me text messages, going on my website or whatever it is that they're doing, however it is I'm capturing them, right? And then my job is to actually talk to those people and know what to say and come up with a solution for their problem, because if I can solve their problem, then I can get the property. If I can solve the problem that they have, I can get the property. Not all the time that comes from me going to the bank begging for money. Not all the time that comes from me coming up with this huge deposit to be able to do it. Not all the time everybody needs that. What they usually want is their problem solved. And 9 times out of 10, solving their problem and then they associate their problem with the property. We associate the problem with the actual problem and our solution, and then we get the property, right? Big distinction. Dude, if you get that, man, you'll make so much money hand over fist, and you will leave a legacy of actually serving and helping people with the business that we're in. There's no better business than this, right? Real estate, property is usually the number one bill that somebody has coming out every month is their living, where they live, or their investment, where they make their money from, right? And our job is to be able to solve any problem associated with that, with the shit that we do, all right? I think that's so important. So out of those top 3 things in this super short training for you guys, 1, the mindset that you're morally obligated to do your job, right? If you're a real estate investor and you're going to build a legacy. 2, You need to be getting leads. Getting leads to call you is different from you chasing them down the street, begging them to do stuff, hacking their prices in half. Do this thing, and I tell you, man, your whole life will change, which means you got to be a hardcore fucking marketer. You got to learn the marketing game. You got to know what to sell, know why you're selling, and know the business that you're in because of it, right? And if you're in the real estate game, as a real estate entrepreneur, real estate investor, whatever it is you do, getting leads is the lifeblood of your business. And last but not least, you need to solve problems for people. What are their problems? We go through that in our training. Like, what are the key problems that we tend to solve as renegades and being in the real estate investor world, not swimming upstream with all the other investor guys out there who are total sharks and they're just playing this game. And it's like almost a no-win game for them. I feel bad for them sometimes because I couldn't play that game. I had to come up with the strategies I'm telling you. I had to get really clear on what I needed to be doing was solving problems for people, and that was the investor game that I was going to play. And over the last 20 years, I've done, like I said, over $50 million in transactions. I've taught people my strategies. They went off and they've created millions of dollars in their own life, doing millions of dollars in transactions, becoming financially free, changing the game for them, spending time with their wife, their kids, building a massive business around the shit that really matters to them, right? That is key. And when you get these three massive principles, these three power principles, one, you need to have the right mindset for this. Two, you need to get leads in the door every day, no matter what. No leads, no money. No money, no bueno. Own that shit, right? And then last but not least, you need to solve problems for people. Solve problems for the people that are contacting you. And we're going to go into this last because I got a bonus for you. As simple as this is, if you just implement this three shits, dude, you get it. You can be a renegade real estate investor instead of the conventional dudes that are running around slinging offers in and not getting shit done and they're flat broke, even though they got business cards, eating stale pizza at every rear group you go to. That shit sucks, and I don't want that shit for you because I hate that. Hate it. Hate it. H-A-T-E. Hate it. This part's a bonus because I thought that this was super important. At first I had it, then I didn't have it, and I was like, you know what? I got to tell them because I think 90% of my problem when I did really well, well, when I didn't do well, was this. And then when 90% of my shit was going great, I had this in place. And every time I tinker with this part, this one principle alone was the distinction between like massive success and fucking utter failure and being at break even all over again and have to rebuild it. So I'm gonna say this, and you guys are gonna be like, oh, I know that shit already. But what I say, it's not what you know. It's what you do. And even if you have one, do it again or do it better or tighten it up. The last principle as a bonus is you must create a system. You know, man, you know how many times people tell me that shit? I'm like, shut up, I already know what that means. And I'm like, I got it. But if you don't systemize what you do, then you will hit running and gunning and going out and trying to work hard and all this other shit, and you will miss the mark. And that is not what legacy building is about. If you're going to build and create a legacy in this business and be a renegade in the real estate world, you are going to have a system that, one, gets your mind right, keeps your mind straight. We have a program called Train Your Mind. And if you don't train your mind will train you. And if you don't train your mind to succeed, your mind will train you to stay in survival mode and struggle and through fear and a bunch of shit, and you won't succeed in this business or any other business for that matter, right? So you need a system to generate leads for you. Like, there's a system to do this. You need to have a predictable way to know that tomorrow you're going to get a lead. Even if it takes a little bit to put that system into play, you got to have it, bro. If you don't have that system, you're going to be calling realtors, hey, could you send me over a ton of deals? I'm going to put in a bunch of offers, and you're going to send over those stupid 50 cents on a dollar offers, that shit that don't get accepted, and it makes you look like an idiot. And you also need a systemized conversation to help you creatively structure solutions for your sellers when they do call you, and creatively structure solutions for your potential buyers. Because if you take down a project, whether it's a house, whether you buy an apartment complex like I did, and you need to lease that place up, you need a system that, for lack of better terms, that pre-screens your people so they can act. That's how you make money, right? So without these systems, without a principle, bonus principle number 4, which is it's a success principle, right? Trust me, you need a system. Without that system, you fail. So what I did was, is it cool if I tell you guys a little bit about a program that I put together? This may or may not help you, take it or leave it, but I know this shit really helped me, right? It's a program that I created called Big Money from Pretty House Business, Big Money from Pretty House Business, right? It's an online thing. It's training videos. It's, how many, 11, 12 videos? 12 videos. It's 12 videos, right? And this is my system. So when I go from start to finish, the properties that I'm looking for, the lead, like the actual problems we solve, the ones we're looking for specifically, and also the problems that the people are having. Like there's a specificness to getting leads. It isn't just random, oh shit, I got a deal. Every deal is not a deal. The pre-qualified lead that is deal oriented is what we're looking for. And that's a systemized thing you got to know up front. Because one of my guys asked, AC, he was like, how do we know which deal to let go of? And we go over specifically what that is in that training, all right? So not only that, we have a system and or a seller system to where I call it negotiation. You guys are going to be, you need to be badass negotiators, period. But I go over, I think we have 4 specific trainings specifically on how I negotiate my deals. They're generic, they're right off the bat, they're a system. And there's also a pre-screening, that's a crazy ass word, pre-screening seller system, right? It's a script. It's what I say over and over again. It is how I sell them on me being the buyer. And then there's the other one that says how I sell buyers on taking over my properties, right? Because my job is to solve a problem. And if you don't know the right questions to ask, to put you in a position that you can get a yes or no from people, then you lose this game. But that also needs to be a system. And you need to either have one in place, create one on your own, or look at the shit that we have, because I'll be honest, man, my training is boss. And if you don't have it, man, you're going to lose out. So, and then last but not least, we have some other stuff. So aside from teaching you how to find the deals, what to say when sellers do call you, and being able to market and get the right people calling you so you can screen quickly and know what's a deal and what's not a deal very fast. You get practice negotiation. You get 4 training videos specifically on that. And then we have these other things as a bonus inside of that videos, like profit centers. There's other ways to make money. You're going to get a ton of stuff, and you need to be able to negotiate how to be able to do that and see those profit centers. Because one of the biggest questions is like, all right, I get a deal, and what do I got to make payments on this thing next month or the month after that? Or what are the other profit centers? What if the thing needs this or that and the next? You got to know how to negotiate that. That's all a part of a system, right? And then last but not least, how do you sell? You get an awesome deal and you get a property. Now all of a sudden you got a tiger by the tail and that bitch is swinging all over the place. And if it turns and bites you, you lose your shit, right? And I want to show you how to circumvent that. Again, a system. So the big money from Pretty House Business training video is a system that I did. And I can tell you that I've made so much money from that, this system alone. In 20 years, it's the way that I handle everything. And I've shared this stuff with other people, and now I want to share it with you. Why? Be honest, man, because I feel like it's my personal purpose to do it. Like I said in the beginning, my mindset says you have to have this training. 90% of my problem when I first started was I was doing it the conventional way. And when I went the Renegade's way of building my own legacy, doing deals, making money, and building this thing, then all of a sudden it started to succeed. And I want to open that to you. And the majority of my problem at that time was I didn't know this. So now that I'm doing this, now that I'm sharing this with you guys, I believe that it is my personal purpose. It is my mission to make sure that you have that. So if it's cool, I made it a no-brainer. So normally I sell this thing for anywhere from $900 to $1,000. I've actually taught this thing live to guys for $1,500 for just one day, right? For a 6-hour training, that we did for $1,500. Those guys left and majority of them rocked out. So I want to do this for you since it's online. Real talk, I'm not standing in front of you. It's a video. You can watch it at your own leisure. So instead of it being $1,000 or $900, I'm doing it for half off. One, because I know what it was like to go through the pain of trying to figure all this shit out without having one source to be able to create a system that worked specifically, and that was a proven system. 2, shit, man, I want you to have it for $4.99. It just makes total sense for you to do that. Oh, and here's another thing too. With that $4.99, so if you get this system, you also get two, not 40 training calls with me and the rest of the guys that are going to get it. Because the other thing that I needed was, the only time I got to test this shit out was on a live seller. And when you test it out on a live seller and you screw that up, fuck, man, there's your money, man. They're not going to sell to you if you screw it up. You say the wrong thing. So I'd rather you train with me and the other guys who actually have this program so we can work out the bugs and kinks of your negotiation and make sure that you freaking go make some money. Because that's what I want for you and your peeps and your family. I want you to leave a legacy of actually making money, not struggle. I don't want you to be working on this shit forever. You don't have to. So if that makes sense for you, here's how this works. $4.99. That's it. You're going to get all those videos as well as you get access to me, and 2 training calls. And it'll be negotiation, role play. I'll play the seller, you play the buyer. I'll play the buyer, you play the seller. how to structure those deals, how to go through the other, the other resources involved, how to negotiate that stuff, the other profit centers involved, and really how to get down to brass tacks and make money in this business, the renegade's way to making money. So that way you can actually build a legacy that you want, man. And whatever you do, whether you have your own business, work a job, you're trying to replace your income, fuck 9 to 5. Hashtag fuck 9 to 5. I don't want you to be there. I don't want you to be stuck. You ain't gonna build a legacy doing that. So again, why? Because I want you to have it. I believe it's my purpose. It's my duty to make sure that as many people have this training as possible so you can let go of the freaking madness of struggling through this shit. So again, man, thank you guys so much for sitting through this thing. And if you're going to do this, I want to say this. I'm not taking a lot of people. I don't want 100 people on the fucking call twice a week, even if it's broken up. I only want the right people doing the right things. This isn't for everybody. I get it. But for the people who are ready to take action now, this works. So here's how we're going to do this. You're going to have 72 hours after watching this training, as simple as this training was, to take action. Why? Because you're going to want people to take action with you, and you need to show up as a real estate investor the way you believe your sellers and your buyers are going to show up for you. So if you tell them you need shit done in 3 days, you do shit in 3 days, right? Because why? Your mindset needs to be set that you won't get people to do shit you aren't willing to do, and you're going to hold yourself to that same standard by doing this. So 3 days within watching this, you're going to sign up for this program, preferably right now. Action takers do it when? Now. 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 So sign up right now. It's $4.99. If not, it's $900. Not a big deal. It's actually worth 500 times that. I get told all the time, your shit's too cheap. That's the only problem with you. You need to charge more money for it. It's just not my business model because I want to help more people. So if that's you, sign up right now. Go on and do your stuff. You get access to those videos, and then I will get an email notification, and so will you. And we will schedule the days that the groups are going to jump on the phone call, and we're going to have this stuff. All right, we're going to role play, we're going to practice. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need. If you have deals already, I can tell you exactly where to go in the training to solve whatever challenges you have, problems you have, so you can actually close that deal and get your deals going and start making money. Even if it's a huge fucking deal and you've been doing this forever, doesn't matter. These are advanced strategies as well as entry-level strategies, because it's a what? System. It's a system. All right, man. So I'm looking forward to having you guys, looking forward to seeing you. So 72 hours from watching this video, stay in integrity. If you're on board, go ahead, get it for the $4.99. After 72 hours, it's $1,500. I think it's a good deal. Is that what I said? $1,500 or $900? One of those. Shit. Just know it's going to be more expensive than $500. That's just a game. That's real life. It's the Renegade's way. So let's get this shit done together. And I look forward to having you guys in this training, man. Let's go.